What's going on, guys? How are we doing? Miss Saul, Mr. Saul, Dale, Jen, Linda, Jackson, Leon. What's up? Everybody doing okay? Oh, had a rough morning this morning, guys. If you were with me, I apologize. Just couldn't see the moves like I normally see them. What's up, Jonathan? Kevin Allen, Livin, baby. All right. Livin. Much love. What's up, Murph? Oh man, I just couldn't get going this morning. Had some had a good call on AMD. AMD was the play. It's hot. It was the play. Got some of it, but I couldn't display it. So I want to Benny, I got a little bit of SPY puts, but to be honest with you, I ended up walking away. There's just some, it happens occasionally. This made sense to be in puts. Really what I kept watching. But to be honest, the 1 hour getting into the zero line, 636, it just wasn't a big move. Not like I would have thought. It got so oversold so fast. I've had, I think I've gave you guys 634. This is kind of, you can see where we bounced right here. So we're dealing with, last Thursday. Okay, this is how I see things. We're dealing with last Thursday. Now this is where we are. Now 634 must hold, or it's an easy trip back down here to 631.40. That's kind of how my mind sees it. I just couldn't get in a rhythm this morning. But it happens. I did get kicked out of Apple. I hate it, but I got kicked out for a loss. 212 was my number, and I stuck to it. It's not looking great, to be honest with you. I had some hopes, but I can't hold on to hopium. I still don't think it looks horrible. This is 209.8. I don't want to ride these down to here, like down towards 205. I don't want to ride those down and then try to hold through earnings. And I would rather buy back, take my small loss. I think it ended up like 18%, and re-add on support and run this up for 50-60%. I would rather do that instead of hold through all this stuff, because the daily MACD finally flipped down today. Now RSI is at 55. It's pointing down. It's a little bearish leaning. Supports at 207. I don't want to hold these all the way down to 207. So I'm gonna follow my rules. When I get, it just happens like that. I was up at one time 25% on those calls and decided to hold because I thought we were going to, thought we had the news and the momentum would carry us through 215, 216. That was 216 was my number, and we did not. You can see we hit a roadblock there. So 209.70. If I get a retouch there, and if I get a retap on 207.40, I would consider adding back. But if this falls through this blank area, it's coming on back down towards 200. Okay. Jen Bless 50% on AMD. Nice. I did. I hope I helped you some with that, Jen. So I'm trying. I went ahead and added. Charles was right. Charles, that's always in the lives. He was right. When I can't display more than, I struggle to get, I try to leave the SPY up here for you guys. But on my other screen, I'm running multiple tickers. I think I'm going to make a new setup here, and I wanted you guys to be guinea pigs tonight. So I added a monitor above that'll hook through my laptop and give more screen space for you guys to see, so I can run AMD. I'll probably run 4. I think 8 is going to be too much over here. So if I take off and go down to the chart with lines only, I'll go to the grid. This is part of your Technical Tuesday also. Weeble Technical Tuesday. So I decided to do it as a live today. Isaac, no, I just said I got cut. I got kicked out today, Isaac. Yep, Josh said he added a little bit to it. So, I mean, that's Josh's choice, Josh's decision, I have to guard my capital. And those are September 19th. Yes, you're not going to hold those till September 19th. So you got half of August, and I'd rather get it off support for another bounce rather than ride it down to those levels I just gave. So on Weeble, guys, this is your grids up here, these 4 blocks. And so you guys tell me how you see this. If I get, you see in my screen now? So let's do 4. Here's Apple. That's not going to work. Hang on a second. Let me go back to 1. We got to do time. We got to do indicators. Okay. So if you ever set these up on yours, there's multiple different ways you can do this. Big one with 2 small ones or something. You can do up to 9. I think either 4 or 6. Let's try 6 and see how you all see it. Let's add Apple. Hey Mike, can we save layouts on Weeble like under presets? I see they have a few of it. Yeah, Yannick, I'll show you here in just a second. So there's Apple, Nvidia. I do get Amazon sometimes. Let's do AMD and Google. Now you guys tell me, can you see that good enough? Can you see those 6 along with my options over here? And I also will bring my camera way down there. There we go. Jerry says it's too small. 4 is good? Okay. Let's go to 4. I can make the options window a little smaller. Okay, let's try 4. Here's 4. Spy, Apple, Amazon, AMD. Here's Google with it. Kevin says 4. Leon 4. No, it's really hard to see for me, Diane. Okay, no problem. There's a 4 banger. Now we cooking. Because if I've got these other ones on my other screen, that's how I called AMD this morning, and AMD was the ripper. Google ended up being a rip. I had it early and let it go. I want to try. We can do Spy as a big one. Here's a large layout. We could do 2 small ones and 1 big one. What do you guys think? 4 is good? Yeah, I can change them quick. Go back to 4 charts. Yep. All I got to do is go to the watch list. So if I want to switch Apple to Amazon, right there we go. AMD to Google, there we go. NVIDIA. We'll keep it up. Okay. Kobe, yeah, it's sort of like TradingView. If I could get rid of the options window, but that doesn't do, then people can't see. We can't see if you're in a play, Mike. So I almost did a custom window, but it ended up being almost identical, where I could do a blank layout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But here's the problem. I can't get the options window up for you. Or I could take off remove chart. I don't know. I don't much like that. Do you guys? That's 5. With quotes. And the clock. I don't know. Nah, I don't like it either. I'm not crazy about that. So this is what we want to do, you think? Yeah, you have to have this. You have to have the turbo options window. So I can click, I mean, I can switch around pretty quick if I want to add different tickers. But, you know, and then on my other screen, quick toggle, pull up to Weeble scenes and set them up. So, yeah, I have that. I have I mean, I can do that and then flop this screen over if I want, you know. I've got a whole nother setup over here. But I also need if I add that RSI, starts making the chart a little too small probably, right? I mean, really, I'll be zoomed in, like if this was opening bell. Probably be zoomed in pretty good, like that. Is that visible, or should I just take RSI off, just leave the chart and the lines? I mean, I'll have RSI on my other screens, on my other bigger screens. What do you guys think? Yeah, I know, but I've got RSI and MACD on my other stuff. This is mainly for just the structure lines. So say today, you know, when opening bell came, I'm up here for pretty much your pre-market high, your pre-market low, and we would be zoomed in sort of like that. There you go, Saul. Yeah, I think this works pretty good. Let's do that. Let's go with that. I like having this a little more over, but it's okay. That's about as good as I can get it. If I had a larger monitor, I could make it work for me, but it's still probably going to be small for the viewer, I believe. So, okay. All right, we'll go with that. Thursday. Tomorrow will be Josh's stream anyways, so we'll go with that. Yep. What's up, Jonathan? All right, brother. Good night. Have a good night. Appreciate you hopping on for a minute. Leon, yes, we do, but I'm running that on my other bigger charts. If I include that on the chart you're seeing, then things start getting, you know, if I add MACD and RSI, then you get this. And we're not going to be able to make any sense out of that, I don't think. So I'd rather just keep the lines. I'm going to have the lines for you. So I'll just have fresh lines on here for you each morning. Like that. This is how we'll start off the day. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to include that on it, but I think that works, right? You guys like that? Okay. So I bought the new laptop. I'm going to run it and a larger monitor above me for an overview of Trading View, because I've got Trading View over on my other screen with the 8-panel setup, so I can keep an eye on that. A couple other tickers going on other than just these 4. So the only thing is, if you guys mimic this, again, to get this, you go to grids, and you're going to start off as a single grid, just with the SPY here, right? Okay. To go to multiple grids, the first thing I do is check in your time and your indicators. So each chart will change simultaneously. And then I come over to this 4 panels. Then you can just click on the blank square. Click whichever ticker you want on your watch list. Let's go NVIDIA here. And AMD. I would rather have Google than Apple. There we go. Sweet. So, okay. That's a quick setup on Weeble. And I just do that under the normal stock page whenever you first bring it up. And these are all synced, so if I click on NVIDIA, it brings up NVIDIA options. Same with AMD options. The only thing with Google, if you're doing this yourself, or with SPY, you got to change this expiration date back. Because when I go to Google or any other ticker, it's going to go to Friday. The SPY will have to be changed back to the day of. So just remember that if you're mimicking this, okay? Patty, I bought a laptop a few weeks ago when I was traveling so I could still stream with you guys. I'm going to add it to my setup here with one additional monitor above me just so I can watch things. It won't be displayed, but I'm an Apple guy. I'm running a Mac, and then the laptop's a MacBook Pro. It's a new MacBook Pro. Saul, I got 2 DraftKings calls. I think. Yeah, I'm down 5%. So let's look at DraftKings while we're doing this. Cameron, yeah, let's go over that too while we're here. Mike, I would not be buying leaps right now on the Tues or the SPY. Sailfish, what are you asking? When it's not SPY, you change off market. Which one do you pick? No, when it's not SPY, I have to change this expiration date back when I go back to SPY. But I always leave these on market. AMD sometimes will have a little bit of spread between the bid and the ask, so you have to be careful. Google doesn't have as much usually. So right now it closed at 195.75. If I were going to choose a call option on Google right now, I would probably choose the 195 or the 197.50. That's at the money and one strike out of the money. And the difference is going at the money, you get a 0.5 delta, which is way better than a 0.38 delta. But they're $269 versus $152 a contract. So It's up to you. And if this is too much spread for you, AMD I might consider. This one's got a little spread on. There's 20 cents on that one. I would consider going to a limit order and hitting like the mid price or the last price maybe. Just got to be careful when you're doing those. Nvidia, $0.06 and 3 cents on these that are close to the money here, so they're not real bad. You start getting a little deeper in the money, they get a little more spread on them. All right, so just be careful. So yeah, Selfish, going to manual input, that's a limit order. So you're choosing, but it gives you bid, price, ask, or the mid. So when I blow that up for you, this is, here's the bid, here's the ask, here's the last. If we were in, let's say, AMD, and we chose the 175, okay, instead of hitting the market order and we hit mid, it's going to try to fill us halfway between the spread, which would be 510. That's the last price right there. So often you can just go to last price, choose that, and get the mid fill. But you're not guaranteed filled, I will say. Okay. Okay. Nice, Saul. Nice. Cameron, let's bring that up and look at it for you. So let's go to Trading View. Okay. Let's bring up AMD today. Now, these lines, these are the ones that I give everybody the past few weeks when I was teaching this chart. These auto lines plot the wick. Pre-market high is on this wick. Morning market structure is on this wick. Is the body important? Here's the body. Josh uses the bodies, but I will say the wick gives you a more conservative entry. Like say we went into this trade over the body of the third candle. This candle, because we chose to go in at the body, popped up to the wick and completely got denied and might have shook you out right there. Whereas this body of the next candle closed over morning market high, giving you more confirmation is all. So there's two ways to play it. You can use the body, you can use the wick. Using the body gives you a more aggressive entry without confirmation. Using the wick makes you respect the entire level, basically, is what it does. So I have gotten into using the wicks more, just because I don't, just because they don't stop you out as much. And it makes you, even though I might enter on the body, I will make the wick be my confirmation. If it doesn't close over it, then I don't stay. Jerry, I'm not. I don't think it does. I don't think these are big computer monitors. I have three 32-inch curved monitors. For a computer monitor, that's a decent sized. So I don't think, here's 8 panels on TradingView. But this has no trading widgets with it. It's just the chart. Hopefully that helps, Cameron. Yeah, and I also want to go look at DraftKings with you guys. And I didn't go heavy on DraftKings, because I wasn't fond of the daily look, honestly. See the MACD. To me, this is going to be pretty close to support right here if it can't hold it. So far in after hours, well, right there, it held it. 43.30. That's definitely a level I want to hold. And the daily's a little bearish leaning to me. But these lines are way up here. This MACD can just bleed down a little bit and find a bounce here to take off. So I wasn't sure I can't remember what was Josh's timeline on this. Jerry, what are you saying now? Consider investing in a dual portable monitor setup for your laptop. When you're live, we're not positioned directly in front of your main screen. Yeah, DraftKings, I may look at January calls on that. Because Josh has September, right? September 19th, yeah. So I would, if it's kind of for football season, then I think I'd want to go through the end of the year. But DraftKings also has earnings on, what is this? August 6th. So we'll see if they get a run into earnings right here before football season. I would say, support here. $40. I'd love to buy it off of a $40 bounce. That would be awesome. It would hold this whole upper shelf up here. That would be nice. That's a good line right there. $40. Hey, should have. Zen Trader, you went January's, yeah. That's what I'm thinking too, man. The more I think about it, January makes more sense to me. And I only took two contracts for a starter. And I will play this. If it breaks through this, I probably cut and try to grab a different position down here around $40. That would be support for me, because this RSI pointing straight down, and so is the MACD, is creating distance between the signal line now. So I think we get a pullback. I think we get a pullback to 40. Yeah, there's a lot of support down here. 38, 35, and 32, just being round numbers, Under 42 get you to 40 pretty easy. Under this 43 here, like 42.50. Yeah, I agree, Zen Trader. I like that $40 range, 38, $40. That'd be a great entry. You got that little gap right here on the daily. You see when it bounced over this line, look at that big old green cucumber candle there. Big old cucumber. Boom. That's what I want. And I like cucumbers. So that's my kind of my outlook on now. Look at the weekly here. The weekly looks to be like it's going to flatten out here a little, pull back and a bounce maybe. Let's go back to August of 2024. Here is August 5th, 2024. From August 5th till December, it runs from 28 to 45. If you take it on through February, you get all the way to 54. You get this pullback. Bad thing is now it ran in April this time. Then the one before that, let's get August. I told you with Marvell and Bull, and I didn't get to play either one of them. Was anybody on the live last night when I did Marvell? I pegged it. I tagged it. It's dead on. Okay, let's go to August in 2023. From August to October, it stayed flat. Not a big move there. 26 to 40. It's okay, I guess. On August of 24, it ran nice. There went your first thumbs down. Thanks, buddy. Some good keyboard warriors. Be sure to leave a comment on your way out. Here's your and it's kind of like already started in April, so hopefully we get a pullback and a bounce here. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. This is a weekly look too, so keep that in mind. Yeah, don't let the door hit. Man, there's always one or two hits a thumbs down, Zen Trader. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. This is a nice area of consolidation that we're in, but it has served as resistance up to, I guess you could say, 53. But this area right here has played a lot of resistance that we're right at 45. I'm a little iffy on it. So we'll see what happens with DraftKings. Okay. Yeah, don't let the door eat you on your way out. Be sure to leave a comment on your way out the door. Okay, Mike. Thanks for getting on at nighttime on your time off and charting. Thumbs down. Oh man. Okay. Let's go to Marvell again, and I missed it, but what a run, man. What a run. If you took this over basically your previous day high. This thing printed today. 76 to 78. 2.5 point move on that. That's nice. On the daily, I think I've got this, $81 needs to break on the daily. And your MACD just crossed up, and this RSI is trying to push through 60. Like, if this busts through 80, it don't look bad to me. Got to get that first, though. It got pressed right back down today, unfortunately, but it was a nice pop at the open. Oh, it's okay, Zen Trader. I appreciate it. Chris Bender, thank you. I appreciate it, Steve. When trading live with SPY, we will try to understand what you are clicking for trading. Okay. Good question. This is, if you're not familiar with this DJ, good question. I had to go to the dentist today, guys. I'm sorry. Hang on. Oh. They put a temporary in for a bridge. Thought I was getting an implant. And the temporary came out. So it's open. Oh. So what I'm clicking on, like let's say I was going to buy the SPY over here, right? Here's my lines for this morning. About right in there. When this broke our pre-market structure here, this was also morning market structure, morning market low. We take the first 3 5-minute candles and mark the high and low. This was the low of that point. We get a candle to break through, And the next run of 30-minute candles holds under. This is a hard hold, though, people. This is a hard. Don't think this is an easy hold. It's not, even though it looks easy. The best time to add on anything is when it was coming back and tapping on pre-market lows. Not at the bottoms of these, okay? You get all this run for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40. 45 minutes, you got to hold this. Maybe even a little bit longer, 55. That becomes your box, right? And there's your second thumbs down. See ya. Here was the low point, right? So if I can't catch this quick break for a scalp, we're going to add on the rejection of your previous support, which is right here, right? Pre-market low, morning market low. The confirmation of this now is when we break what was our lows, which is this green wick right here. Once we start breaking under it, then we're getting confirmation. Okay. At that point, the options I would have chose would have been around the 638 strike. So what I'm doing is coming over here to turbo options. And I would be at that point in the day, not today, of course, but at that point of the day, let's say we bought the 638s for tomorrow, right? 638 puts. I'm going to show you any contract you want to see on a chart. You can just right click on the contract and then view it in a widget. I always choose a chart. So I'm going to put that contract on a chart for you. Okay. Now, at that point in the day, that was, wow. Watch this thing disappear. $10.50. Around $10.50 if we buy puts, these 238s at $2.34, right in this neighborhood. This would have been the buy. Remember, we're in puts. We still want this. This has to go up. We're in puts, but we're watching the contract. SPY's going down, puts are going up. If I make the same box for you on the chart here, you're looking at it kind of like that. 10.55, we break this breakout candle. We buy this breakout candle, right? We buy these for $2.40. If you get the whole run, you sell them for $4. If you get half the run, you could sell them for $3.50 or so. So you're buying them for $240, selling them for $350. That's $100 profit per contract. So all I'm doing is clicking the contract and hitting the buy button. I leave these on market, right? Click, buy. I can have 5 loaded, 10, however many. We can change this number. But that's what I'm clicking on. 638 put, 5 contracts, buy. I got 15. When this thing starts breaking, I'm peeling off 2 at a time. Sell. Okay? That's what I'm clicking, if that helps you, brother. What's up, Ice? Hopefully that helps you, DJ. If you don't have Weeble and you're trying to day trade options, I would highly suggest that you look into Weeble. And if you don't know how to set it up right, the email for coaching with me for one-on-one coaching is in the description of the video. I would love to help you. So looking at now, somebody said the Gravestone Doji on Marvell. Yeah, Oh, man. See ya. There's 3. Joseph, good. I'm glad to hear that. On the daily time frame, Zen Trader, or what are you looking at? TTD hit your stop loss size. Yeah, DJ, you should consider setting up turbo options, man. It is it's a game changer. You don't have to worry about entering orders and all that crap. Click and buy what you want and get out how you want to. It's very fast. Andres, there's no minimum. There's no minimum. If I'm suggesting to new people that are starting, it's nice to have between 2,000 and 5,000, but there's no minimum. High enthusiasm, demand, and valuation. The IPO is reportedly near 40x oversubscribed, signaling crushing demand from institutions. What are you talking about, Saul? Is there a ticker you're talking about? Oh, Figma. Figma IPO. I've heard Tasty Trade was really nice, Zen. Yeah, Figma. When's it IPOing? Is it even listed yet? Figma Inc., New York Stock Exchange. No data here. Okay. Let's see what we got. Increased price range for our proposed IPO.
I took control, went solo, and built my own online knife empire.
Later this week, we got a big IPO coming. Figma, the design software company, is looking at an initial valuation in the neighborhood of $20 billion, making this the largest enterprise software deal since 2021. Now, my gut says that this stock should be able to roar right out of the gate. But you know what? I'm hesitant to recommend it, even though the underlying business is excellent, because I'm betting it'll quickly get way too expensive. Now, if I'm wrong, you got my blessing to buy this one, because this is some great company. But only in weakness, assuming we get any. See, Figma makes design software that's as ubiquitous as it is invisible. If you've looked up directions on Google Maps, if you booked a ride on the Uber app, search for flights from JetBlue, stream shows on Netflix, try to use Duolingo to learn a new language, or networked on LinkedIn. Do you know that you've used a product that was designed with Figma software? They already have 95% of the Fortune 500 as clients. Basically, this company has a whole suite of software that makes it easier for their clients to design apps and websites, and their product is so good that, well, Adobe tried to buy the entire company a few years ago. Who could blame them? Blocked by antitrust. You can tell by looking at the numbers. Last year, Figma put up 48% revenue growth, although that slowed to 46% in the first quarter of this year, and somewhere between 39 and 41% in the second quarter.
Well, it's getting some attention. I mean, it could be a pop. Could be a nice pop. I don't know. I have to keep an eye out for sure. For sure. So I feel you. Diane. Oh. Hey, brother, how to use Robinhood options? Well, most people use their phone app. I've got a little account started over there for my son. Robinhood Legends is what it's called. And it's probably better than the phone. If we go to, this is Robinhood Legend. They do have some unique stuff on there. A lot of things are open 24 hours to buy stocks and some other cryptos and things, but you can set up your charts a little this is nicer than going on your phone, I'll say. So if we click on SPY, I guess let's see here. Yeah, here's the options. Let's see here. You can move these windows around a lot, I will say. Delete widget. So you can have your options up here. You can have your little watch list down here. I played around with it a little bit. I definitely ain't using it for charting, but it's got a few things on it. You could just use your charts on you can see I don't have much money in here. I've just been buying a little bit of Tesla for my son. Slowly. So this is your options chain. If you're looking at here's tomorrow. You can list more strikes if you want to, days to expiration, all that stuff. It depends on how big you want to make your window. So here you go. If you wanted to buy calls, they're over here. If you want to buy puts, they're over here. Customize columns. So you can have different things on your columns that you're searching by, delta and theta and all that. Puts are on the right, calls are on the left. Here's your strike price. Here is the bid and the ask. If you wanted to buy a 635 call, I guess you're clicking set this chart to options. So you can even have this as an option chart. There you go. That's pretty cool. I don't know that I've bought one on here. buy to open. There you go, right there. So this is, if you fool around with this a little bit, you probably like it better than the phone. It'd be faster. Buy to open, right there. Limit order or market order. This is why I don't like Robinhood. Market orders are only available from 9:45 till close. So the first 15 minutes, you can only do limit orders. Here's your chart, or here's your amount of contracts that you want. So when you put it on, whenever you click on the strike you want over here, that's when it places it on the chart. You can hit buy to open here. Once you open it, then you would hit sell to close and do your form. See, that again, this is much clunkier than Weeble. Yeah, horrible executions. So when I bring you back to Weeble, I want to buy a SPY call for, let's say, tomorrow. I click it and I click buy. I don't have to. I mean, it's just, there's too many steps to go through to get into all that stuff. So the more you get slowed down trying to put limit orders in and do this and do that, I'm already in. I'm already out by the time you get it in. And there's no stop loss before 9:45. I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah, Saul, I agree. They have they've got a lot of new age things that some brokerages don't. You can customize these windows pretty nice, but this is not an app. This is online. I ain't crazy about that. I wish it was just an application. So, but I would, if I was just stuck on Robinhood and just couldn't change over, or I live out of the country and need to use Robinhood, I would spend some time on their platform on the desktop instead of the phone. I could try to make a video about it, but I really push Weeble a lot, so that's kind of my thing. All right, my friends. So, we got any more questions? Anybody want me to look at anything? I think this is the setup I will do on my live streams now. We'll do the 4 panels, and if there's something popping, is there... Oh, Chris, I didn't know that. Appreciate it. You're right, Saul. They design it with a video game look. Bobby Cook, a blue Weeble account. Want to try Robinhood options instead. Bobby, that's not the answer, my friend. You're just as easily gonna, I think the answer is discipline and getting your trading method down. You noticed this morning I got frustrated. I walked away. If things aren't working for you that day, you have to step back, and you have to reanalyze, and you have to think, what am I doing wrong? What am I looking at wrong? What have I got to do? What have I got to change? It's not switching apps. I promise you that. I'm not. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm not bashing you or nothing, man. But going to another app is not the answer. I think, I can look at AES. I think working on your charting, working on your disciplines, that's the answer. Okay. Let me look at a couple charts for people before I go. You said AES? Who was that asked? Sir, so you can recommend Weeble? She Gordon. Yes, I recommend Weeble. Highly recommend Weeble for day trading options. Nothing any faster. For scalping and day trading options, there's nothing any faster. At least I've not found it. Nanplensa, I have not dove into it. I feel you, Zen Trader. Leon Weeble is way better than Moo. Like I'm saying, this is specific for day trading. Yeah, Bobby, you need to slow down and spend some time learning. You just need to slow down, man. When you're trading options, as for right now, you should only be buying 1 or 2 inexpensive contracts. I nailed it. All right. Apple expectations, Muhammad Ali. I talked a little bit at the beginning about it. I got kicked out today. I've respected my stop loss. And we'll look to re-enter the couple levels that I gave earlier. I'll try to glance back here in just a second. AES. I think you're going to get a back test. Stuck in a range right here. Yeah. I would follow. This MACD is told a story every time, pretty much. It's about to cross down, brother. It's time for a pullback. 11. 1220 support. Maybe 1260, 1220 support. Then between 1160 to 10 is going to be your support. Right there. That's your. It's got to get above 14 to start making a move. And this daily MACD has been pretty steady. Pretty steady. Steady Freddy. RSI crossed first. MACD crossed next. Pullback time. So I don't know if it sells options or not. It does. A little bit of spread on these options though, so good Lord. Wouldn't be buying options on this. Just shares. Yep. Well, Bobby, making it back is not the mindset. If I can just help you for a second. Making your 15K back is not the mindset. Here's ANET for ZenTrader. Building your knowledge has got to be the mindset, because you're just going to blow another account. Building your knowledge and creating your disciplines will make you your money back, but that has to be the mindset. It can't be, I got to make this back. It ain't gonna happen, brother. It has to. You have to change something has to change, and it ain't the platform. And I can say so because I've been there. As many of us have. I've been there and I've done that. You can't. That's not going to be your answer. ANET. What a move, man. Here's your pivot low. It's hot, brother. Let's look at his weekly. Shoo. Well, 120. 120.75's next resistance. Then you got a decent shot back to 133. It's on fire. I don't know what this is, but it's on fire. Your weekly is pushing above 60 now on the RSI, my friend. It's cooking. If you're in it, I would set a reasonable stop and try to let it run a little bit. You've got some support through there. 108. Break this to a 1 hour. About 115. I would say 117.40 and 115 would kind of be my, and then 113 would be my support levels. Okay. There you go. You're welcome, Bobby. I am not picking on you, Bobby. Please don't take it that way. Yeah, Saul, I use 60 and 40 on my RSI. This middle line stays as 50. I don't have it's just the blue line and the two blue lines on my RSI. The purple is the RSI, the yellow is the signal line. PWR. Yeah, I'll do this one, and then I gotta go, guys. Yeah, I got you, ZenTrader. Yep. This thing's running hot. 400.50 local support through here. The weekly still cooking, man. Don't look bad to me, but it has broke now all-time highs and kept going, so probably gonna get some back testing going on. That's the weekly look. A lot more volume down there in the 270s, but there's a nice shelf up here. I mean, when it pulls back, it could very well come back, pull back towards 350 and back test that. That's a weekly time frame. That's going to take a while to do. But for now, it still looks pretty strong. The RSI is starting to turn down a little bit on the weekly. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Muhammad Ali, I'll look at Apple one more time for you. So Apple weekly is struggling to get over 50 on the RSI. So it's hard to, it cannot, it's having such a hard time breaking 216. It just can't break over. That's been the fighting factor on it. I got kicked out today, but as far as the daily goes, if I get a back test down here around 207, I consider adding back, playing these middle bars, this middle shelf of volume, and previous lows, 207.60, or back down here towards 200, be a psychological support. To be specific, 198 or so. It can get there. The daily is really confused, and the daily just flipped bearish on the MACD. It flipped down. It's not in bearish hands, but it flipped down. So this could come back, pull back to support back here at 195, even if it wants to. It's got the room to do it, and I'm not holding calls all the way through that. So I'll look to re-add on some support. Okay. All right, my friends. I love you. Thank you for somebody removed their thumbs down. Thank you. Only 2 thumb downs today. Only 2 thumb downs. I love y'all. I appreciate it. I love hanging out and trying to help. I'll be on with Josh in the morning, so you guys be sure to tune in. And if you've have Apple 245 January 26th, should I get out? Well, thank you, Dale. She Gordon, thank you, Sergio. What's your are you up? Are you down? Did you have a great entry? All these have factors. The 245 calls for January of 2026. Looking at Apple's January 2026. 245 calls are 420 now. You're down $61 total. Dale, no, I'm not full for my next small group. If you want in that, just give me a shout, man. I think you got my number. You've coached with me before, so shoot me a text. Entry at 485. $4.85 on the contract itself. You just have one contract. I mean, if I only had one contract and you got January calls, I might consider holding on and adding on support. You got a 245 strike. Those contracts are like $423 now. Something like that. $425. Yeah, If you're only holding one, that's super low position size. I would, if you had January calls, I'd probably consider holding and adding on support. Is APLD still a buy? Well, this depends on your time outlook. APLD support, true support, is about $9 all the way down to $8. So it looks as if it's going to come test that, my friend. If you get through $9, it's about a sure shot back to $7.70. Definitely, anytime you get this $2 and $3, it's probably a good buy. Yeah, Zen Trader, I got the same thing. You got a nice support candle here around the $8 mark. And then you got a nice shelf still here at the $9 mark. So there's your two support levels to me. I would agree with that. Thank you, Saul. Yeah, DJ Barker, 485 times 100. Yeah, that's $485 is what she was talking about. So she's paid $485 for it. It's now worth like $420 something. So she's probably down $60, something like that. If I only had one contract, it wouldn't hurt my feelings a bit to let that ride on down, grab it on support, and add me another contract or two. That would be what I'd do. Zen Trader says get out. You can always get out and just re-enter down there. Cut your small loss and get out. I'm just saying you got quite a bit of time on it, She Trader. January. Hers are January, Zen Trader. All right, my friends. DJ Barker, I must be poor. Not 485 times 100, $4.85 times 100. So it just makes it 485 total dollars. Yeah, Zen Trader's got a great point. There's other things to play other than just Apple. So I would, you got a few options. If it's not if you got a really small account and it's tying your money up, then I'd probably cut it. If you got a decent sized account, you want to give it a chance. There's support lines underneath it, or just exit, enter on that support that I gave you a minute ago. Okay. All right, my friends, should I buy Apple calls tomorrow? Bobby, I think I've made that pretty clear. No, I wouldn't be buying Apple calls tomorrow, brother. I just said it was looking pretty bearish. This can, the oscillators, your MACD and your RSI are starting to point down. It looks like it wants to come back to 207, and then if it breaks through that, you're going to pull way on back towards the 200 mark. I wouldn't be buying it right now. Back when I first bought it, I was up 25%. Time has eat some of it away. and now it's came back down. I was hoping to break through 216. It did not. Oh, puts. Well, you have to day trade that. You can wait for these levels to break. I think I'd like to get through 210 first and then have a target of 207.40. Somewhere in that neighborhood. All right, my friends. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you tomorrow, okay? I feel you, Zen Trader. I feel you. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Love y'all. Thank you, VCD. We'll get it back tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here. Thanks, Zen. That's right, She Gordon. You can get out. You can get back in. No problem. There was that blessed third thumb down. Thank you. Don't let the door hit you. Love y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks, Hygienist. Thanks, Marie.